Hey you playa, if you're ever on a date with a girl, do not wait until the very last moment, seconds before that date ends, to go for that first kiss. There's actually a much better time to go for it. It's going to leave her walking away a lot happier. If you're vibing with a girl all night and you feel like the chemistry and attraction are there, waiting for the end of the date is only going to build up that expectation higher and higher, to the point where if it doesn't really deliver to both of your expectations, it's going to feel like a bit of a failure. But I totally understand why guys wait for that final moment. I was one of those guys where every time I was on a date, I was nervous. I felt that insecurity bubbling up. When was the right moment? How should I go for it? What's a good way to lead into it? All those questions meet in the center around the fear of rejection. You're worried that if you make that move, she may push you away or turn you down, laugh at you, or say something really hurtful. You don't want to experience that, so you keep putting that moment off more and more. The reason why it's such a bad idea to wait to the very end to go for that first kiss is that if she really likes you, she's going to be anticipating that moment, waiting for you to make that move. And if she has to wait an hour or 2 hours, or even up to the very end of the date, she's going to get bored. She's going to feel like you're not putting your confidence on display, and you're really just making this last-ditch effort to try to make something happen. If the two of you are getting along well, she's probably pinpointing different moments throughout that date that she feels are great opportunities for you to make a move. And every time you don't, every time you pass up on them, she's going to feel more disconnected and distant from you. Not only are the seeds of doubt going to enter your mind, they're going to start to enter hers as well. She may start to think that if she were to go for that first kiss, is she going to be perceived as some kind of slut, or being too forward, or being desperate? And that's not to say that women don't want to or won't ever go for the first kiss. Plenty of women do, but there is a social stigma around women putting their sexuality out there on display. They're judged a little bit more harshly, so there's a comfort in knowing that the guy is going to kind of lead that sexual and social interaction. So both of you are waiting for this magical moment to just fall into your laps where the first kiss can just organically happen. You're both anxious, you're both nervous, and there's a lot of anticipation around that final moment where it's going to be either good or bad. How do you prevent all of that from happening? Well, the best thing you can do is to go for the kiss earlier on, and there are several moments when you can actually do that. When you're on a date and you're trying to make that first kiss happen, the best thing you can do is to look for those moments of silence. Naturally, the two of you are going to be talking to each other all throughout the date. It's how you connect, it's how you bond, but if you're talking, you're not allowing natural tension to just normally build. So you can instantly create that tension by talking a lot less. And it's not just a matter of saying less. You want to let your voice naturally slow down. You want to let your tone kind of slow down as well. You want to show her that you're focusing more and more on her face, on her lips, on her eyes. Everything you can to really demonstrate the fact that you are encapsulated with her in that moment. And as you start to slow your roll in that conversation, you want to create a moment of isolation between the two of you, whether that's the two of you being alone somewhere together or being in an environment where the people are just background noise. They really don't matter. They don't really have anything to do with you and her being there together. A few examples of that might be the two of you getting on an elevator alone together after a long night of partying and hanging out, or going for a stroll in the park when there's no one else around, sitting together at a restaurant where everyone else is just background noise and the two of you are just inches from each other's faces, or just waiting at a stoplight to cross the street, standing together with your arm around each other. Those are perfect moments to kind of create a one-on-one isolated experience from the rest of the world. Set up the scenario, slow your voice down, smile, and then go in for that kiss. Boom. You hit your first kiss. That's amazing. But where do you go from there? Once you establish a baseline of intimacy somewhere in the middle of the date, you now know for the rest of the date it's something you can return to. You can kiss her again, and you don't have to worry about being this huge buildup all the way at the end. And if your big concern is that it might be too early to go for that first kiss on a date, totally understand. You want to build intimacy, you want to feel like there's a real connection there. But you should also be aware that there is a point where it can be too late on the date, where she just might get bored and lose interest, and you don't want to hit that point. So find that sweet spot in the middle when you feel like both of you are ready. You have what it takes to be somebody great. If you make that move and she shoots you down, that's okay. Being confident is all about believing in your ability to try something, not always succeeding with it, but trying. And look, whether it's her or someone else, you will one day have that first kiss. I know it. On that note, I'll catch you next time. As always, love and peace.